Hello and welcome here at the VICTAM newsroom. My name is Gerrit Heikoop and I'm trying to find out what's hot, what's new and what's important in the international feed processing and grain industry. And in this episode I'm talking to Archit Newaskar, who was a speaker at the GRAPAS conference taking place here today. Archit, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, you did a talk that was titled The Advantages of Square Silo Integrated Building Solutions.
That's right.
Well, let's start from the start. Square silo building, what is that?
Well, traditionally silos are always round.
Yes.
And before I get into silos, I have to clarify that usually when people talk about silos, the first impression they have in their mind is the big round silos. That's not our business. We are in the business of making process silos, which are usually part of processing facilities.
Exactly,
so
the much smaller little storage
much
buffers.
smaller little storage which has high product rotation. So on a day-to-day basis, they are called day bins, dosing bins, finished product bins, outloading bins. So where product goes in and out every day. So the key elements you need is it has to be fully emptying, nothing should remain in the bin, and it has to be able to stand the wear and tear because of the high loads it's being subject to day in and day out.
Exactly.
So we have that, and then we marry that together with the steel structure, the building itself. Because our bins, our silos are not only holding the product, but they are also an integral part of the structure. So where our silos are, you don't really need a secondary steel. It is a part of the building, and the floors, the roof structure can seamlessly connect to our silos. So by this, we are optimizing the footprint, we are optimizing the amount of steel, we are making it easier for the customer to get his factory up and running quickly, because as you know, the scale at which projects are being built, everybody talks about high quality and lower price, and one way of achieving that is to do things efficiently. So you don't have 50 and 100 ton per day mills being built. It's usually 200, 300, 400. And when you do that, you have to get your act together,
Exactly.
and you can't afford to be late.
And you have
so
to
that
be
is
smart and super efficient.
Absolutely. So we add a touch of efficiency to the process of building, and at the same time, it has to perform its main functionality.
Exactly. So you integrate both functionality and structure
Absolutely.
in one go.
Absolutely.
But let's explore a bit, because as you started off,
Yeah.
silos are typically round. That's
Yes.
not for no reason.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why doesn't stuff get stuck in the corners?
Yes. So we have. So what we do is we marry the flow of a round silo together with the space advantage that a square or rectangular silo brings.
How does
Which
that
means if a silo is round, if you imagine the round in a square and you imagine the corners, all that space is lost.
Yes.
But in a square silo, we utilize that space.
Yes.
So we are talking about an increase in capacity just by using that corners by about another 25 to 40%, depending on a few other parameters. But you are right that it does get stuck at the corners, that in theory. So what we do to solve that problem is we have rounded corners. And of course, we have
The best of both worlds.
the best of both worlds, and without losing all of that volume. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And say I'm thinking about my next processing facility.
Yes.
What does it take to incorporate these kind of solutions into my next plant?
All it takes is you have to give me a call, and we will
Is it
do
that
everything for you.
simple?
That's all.
No further restrictions or challenges that I need to overcome?
There are always challenges, but we have been doing this for the last 30 years. We have built
Can you
across
give an
all
example of
continents.
something I will typically run into that I need to solve, or you will solve for me?
For example, if you are building in a place like the Philippines, for example, Philippines is known for its very high hazard incidences. So which means that in technical terms, they have very high seismic loads, which is earthquake loads,
Yeah.
and they also have very high wind loads.
Yeah.
So we have built a facility, a flour mill, remodeling plant in Cebu, which is by the sea and also in a very high earthquake zone. So these are the things you need to keep in consideration because our silos, like I said, are not only holding the product, they have to be strong enough to withstand the loads that come from these external factors.
Yeah.
So these are challenges that it would be hard to incorporate in a round silo. A round silo will be there,
Yeah.
but
And
it
then you
will have to be
build the
supported by
structure around it.
structure around it.
All right.
So you eliminate that in our concept.
So it sounds you have a lot of experience with this already. From your market knowledge, what do you see as the most important trend in 2018 moving forward?
I think, like I said earlier, you see less number of plants being built in terms of volume, in terms of number of plants, but the processing capacity per plant is increasing because people are after quality, but also quality at a reasonable price that they can sell. And when it comes to that, you can finishing a project on time and in a fairly hygienic way, efficient way, where at the end of the day you have a plant which with normal housekeeping facilities you have to be able to maintain. If all that can be achieved, you need a partner like SCE that you can trust, and from day one you know when you're going to finish building your plant. Of course, there are always minor delay factors which are beyond your control, but within a respectable parameter, 99.9% of the time we always finish our projects on time.
So you predict that we need to find specialized engineering companies for these type of facilities?
Yes, it is a specialized job, and we also coordinate a lot with machine suppliers. We are not in the machine supply space, so we are completely loyal to the building part of it, and that is our only interest. So if a customer comes to us, we keep only the building part in consideration and advise them what is best. Of course, it does help that because we have operated from feed milling to flour milling to rice processing, we do have in-house knowledge of how these industries work. For some industries, hygiene might be less important than others, so we do factor that into our offer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your experience and knowledge here today. And if you are interested to learn more about the innovations in milling, check out some of our other videos here at the VICTAM YouTube channel. If you want to be the first to find a new one, subscribe to our channel or go to victam.com and sign up to our newsletter. And the most important thing you should do is mark your calendar for VICTAM International in 2019 in Cologne or VICTAM Asia 2020 back here in Bangkok. Thank you for watching.